Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. We're back. It's Leicester visit to Old Trafford on Saturday. It's a Premier League preview. Not sure what I feel about it, to be honest. Is the season over? Of course it's not. Are we in a fight for fourth place? Probably not. Are we going to drop out the top six? I doubt it. But Manchester United, managerial appointment. These players need to show something from this season because what I would say is this season's a write-off. It's how bad a write-off do they want it to be? Because if you ran through player ratings so far this season, there's probably David De Gea, Jadon Sancho and maybe one or two others, and the rest of them are below average. So we need to see something from these players. But before we get into all that, as you can see on the screen, we're sponsored by Spitch today on the show. Fantastic little community we've got growing, and you could be part of that community too. Let me just knock that off the screen there. So what is Spitch all about? I can tell you that Spitch is a fantasy football manager app that lets you build your own team to win points and take on other managers on the game. It's available on iOS and Android and is free to download in the UK. Spitch is based around weekly competition, so you don't have to worry that the season's already started. You can literally play each weekend from start and win prizes. This week I'm playing around the Premier League. My knowledge of the Premier League is of course fantastic. However, if it's not that good for you and you don't watch hours of football, then Spitch has you covered with detailed app analytics within the app. If you want to download Spitch and get yourself in with a shot of winning some awesome prizes, then hit the link in the description and get playing today. Also, make sure you join the United Stand community page on Spitch, as the person who gets the most points in our community page will win the amazing United Stand Last Stand hoodie and also a very cool United Stand mug. I've placed the links in the description to download Spitch and also join our community. We also wanted to announce the winner of the last game week, but you did not answer your email, so make sure you keep an eye out because that person just missed out on the chance to win some merch. However, if you do check and have won, then let us know and we'll honour that prize for another week. You do have to be over 18 to play Spitch and terms and conditions apply. Finally, we're capping the amount of United Stand merch prizes for the community on Spitch to one per user to make sure the same person does not win it every week, which to me makes a lot of sense. So make sure you check out Spitch, links in the video description, or you can scan it with your QR code. Get your phone camera on that little QR code there and you can play it. And as I said, if you are playing on Spitch, it's free to download, lots of fun, and make sure that you join the United Stand community as well. There's lots of little chat and it's competing against each other and you can win some merch on there, as I said. Big shout out to Spitch. Right, let's get on with the game itself. Manchester United against Leicester. I'm going to start off with the predicted lineup, but first of all, let's talk about Leicester for a moment. We've got to win this game. We are currently 4 points off Arsenal. They've got a game in hand on us. We're a point behind Spurs in 5th. I think they've got a game in hand on us as well. Or maybe that. No, I don't think Spurs have actually got a game in hand. I tell a lie. I'll digress quickly there because I don't think Spurs have got a game in hand. No, only Arsenal. So Spurs are ahead of us by a point in 5th. No games in hand. Arsenal ahead of us by 4 with a game in hand, which could turn to 7. Our next few games for United, we've got Leicester at home, Everton away, Norwich at home, and then Arsenal and Liverpool. So we've got to take 9 from 9 to have any chance. We've got to beat Leicester, we've got to beat Everton, and we've got to beat Norwich to have any chance of doing anything. And what I mean by that is probably 4th. Am I worried about dropping out? 5th and 6th get Europa League football. Am I worried about dropping down to 7th? Not really. We've got 2 points on West Ham and we've got a game in hand, and West Ham are focused on the Europa League, so I don't think we need to worry about West Ham or Wolves. But look, knowing United, we probably will make that an issue. So I expect, first of all, before we go through the team, I expect Manchester United to beat Leicester. I expect us to beat Norwich. Everton's a difficult game, and then God knows what happens against Arsenal and Liverpool. But I'm expecting a win at the weekend. Leicester are ridiculously inconsistent. I mean, I don't even know where Leicester are in the league. Currently, they're 10th, which pretty much says everything about Leicester's inconsistent season. No Jamie Vardy. He's recovering from an injury. They seem to have had a lot of injuries this season, and they've had a lot of inconsistencies. We owe them one. They absolutely battered us at Leicester, didn't they? That was the game where Harry Maguire came back from injury after one training session and put in his worst ever performance for United. He was absolutely terrible that day. He should never have played the game, and they battered us. So we owe them one. Losing to Leicester by 4 goals to 2 is bad enough, but losing to this Leicester team is even worse. They're so inconsistent. I think their away record, I looked at this earlier, their away record as well. I mean, look, I know they beat us at our place, but their away record's abysmal. They're actually 4th from bottom in the away league table with 12 points. Only Burnley, Norwich and Everton have a worse away record than Leicester. It's abysmal. So this has to be a win for United. I expect it to be a win. Of course, I do think Leicester are dangerous because I think Leicester like to play on the break. And obviously we're a team that doesn't deal well with teams on the break who basically play with a low block. So Leicester are set up to cause us problems. They have got some decent players, the Tillemans, the Ndidis, the Harvey Barnes, Maddison. Obviously they've got a fairly decent goalkeeper in Kasper Schmeichel, and they're a decent team on their day, Leicester. They can cause us a problem. In many ways, I think it's the right game to play after the international break. I mean, whether it's the right or the wrong game, we've got to play it. That's the schedule. But I wouldn't want to be playing Norwich at home because we'd just be expecting to win 3 or 4-0, and when do we ever do that? I fancy us to beat Leicester, and I think we will beat them probably 2-0 or 2-1 or something like that. I don't expect us to play fantastically well. I think they owe it to the fans to do that, but I do expect us to win. So how do I think he'll line up? Well, look, I think obviously De Gea will be in goal. He's not been with Spain, so he'll be very fresh and ready to play. I expect Dalot to hold his place at right back. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I'm not saying Dalot's been blowing up trees or anything like that, but who blows up trees? Blowing down trees is what I meant. Imagine Dalot walking up to a tree with some dynamite and just blowing it up. Oxygen killer. Anyway, no, I expect Dalot to start. He might go with Wan-Bissaka. We know Dalot's not English. It's just part of the banter. Varane obviously comes in, and look, I suppose that's a big decision for Harry Maguire for many people, but unfortunately, I think Harry Maguire will start, and I don't want people to start. Well, you can boo me if you want. Boo away. If you're booing me because I've said Harry Maguire shouldn't start, that's fine. I can deal with that. It's criticism. You want Harry Maguire to start. Boo me. That's absolutely fine. Got no problem with being booed. But I think Harry Maguire will start, and there's 2 reasons for it. One, Rangnick has always started him when I don't think he should have done. I think Lindelof recently should have been starting ahead of him, but I think he'll go with Harry Maguire. And 2, Manchester United is a brand, and Manchester United will not want Harry Maguire to be dropped after him being booed by England fans. So it's a brand perspective selection as well. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. Some people will be going mad saying you can't be picking players because of how it appears commercially. But they're not going to drop Harry Maguire after he was booed on Wednesday night. I would drop him. Look, whether you agree with the boos or not, and I don't actually agree with booing a player, and people will go, oh yeah, but you give him loads of abuse when he... Yeah, I'm reacting to football, and I'm saying he's played shit. I'm not stood in Old Trafford booing him because I don't actually agree with that. And people will say, well, that's contradictory. Well, if it's contradictory, it's contradictory, but I wouldn't boo a player. I don't agree with it. But I will say they're shit because ultimately, when I was down the pub or when I was going to school, I used to sit there talking about football at the weekend and say they were shit. Doesn't mean I was going to go and stand in the ground and boo them. So there is a difference there. I would have dropped Maguire a long time ago, and I hope that certain fans and certain journalists stick by that because they've been saying it for a long time as well. And if they now start saying he should play because they feel sorry for him, that's no player wants to be felt sorry for. So I would drop Harry Maguire for this game for the same reasons I would have dropped him for most of the season. He's just not been good enough. And I think Bailly and Lindelof and even Phil Jones deserve more of a chance than him. But the main reason I would drop him is it was his fault we went out of the Champions League. He lost João Felix in Spain. And I think against Atletico Madrid, time and time again, he got pulled out of position and they exploited it, and like they did on the goal. So I don't think he's been very good for us this season. I think he's cost us a lot of goals, and I think other people deserve a chance. I think when you play in a competitive sport, when you've had as many chances as Harry's had, he deserves a bit of time on the bench. But I think he will start. I don't think he deserves to start, I'll say that, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has a good game. It's against a former club. He's been booed this week. He's got a lot of things to prove. I guarantee our fan base will cheer him when he comes out, whether that's right or wrong. I think it's right to support your player. Give him another chance. He's had a lot, but give him a chance. I think he'll have an half-decent game. I can't see him putting in a bad performance. So, look, that's a positive, isn't it? Left back, I think it will be Telles. I think he will stick with Telles because Telles actually played reasonably well before the international break. I think that gets forgotten, but he played reasonably well. I think he wants to pick Luke Shaw, but I don't think there's enough to drop Telles. I personally would start Shaw, but I'm going with what Rangnick will do. I think McTominay will start, and Fred will start, and Bruno will start. I think that's absolutely nailed on. Those 3 will start. I'd be stunned if he started Matic, and I don't see him putting Pogba in because Pogba hasn't actually played that well recently, and he has been put on the bench recently, and Paul Pogba's not going to sign a new contract. And I think we're getting to that point now where Rangnick has almost started to look at the team for next year and started to pick players for next year. So I don't think Pogba will start. I think he'll go with McTominay, Fred and Bruno. Obviously, Jadon Sancho will play off the left. Ronaldo will play through the middle because we don't even know if Cavani's going to be fit. There was an injury the other night when he was playing for Uruguay. And I think Rashford will play off the right. And that might be quite controversial as well, but not so much. I don't actually think it's more controversial to pick Rashford than it is Maguire. I think in many ways they've had very similar seasons, and if Maguire's going to start, you can't moan about Rashford starting. I think Rashford will start because I think Elanga is still in that period of being integrated into the team and probably works better off the bench. There's not really an alternative. I guarantee Rangnick, when he talks to the press tomorrow, will say that Marcus has trained really well. So I think Rashford will end up playing off the right hand side. He has had 2 weeks training. He's had a bit of time off. He's not been with England. Hopefully he's refreshed. Hopefully, he's taken on board some of the things that we were saying this morning. He's in control of the critics. People are criticising because he's playing badly. If he starts playing well, he can shift that criticism. I don't want anybody in life, whether you're a footballer or not, if you are being critiqued as a chef or as a service provider or an entertainer or a footballer, if you're being critiqued for poor performance, you're in control of that poor performance. If you start performing well, you're always going to get haters, of course you are, but the vast majority of critiques will shut up. I certainly will. I like Rashford. I like Rashford as a player. If he starts playing well, I'm going to be praising him. If Maguire starts playing well, I'll praise him. I want them to do well, but I'm not going to lie when they're not doing well, and they've been consistently bad this season. So I think Rashford will start, and I think that's how United will line up. I mean, look, I wouldn't mind Maguire being dropped. I think he deserves it, but I don't think he will. I wouldn't be surprised if Wan-Bissaka starts at right back and Luke Shaw start at left back. I just don't think they will. And Pogba could be found a way into that team. You could put Pogba to the right or the left, but we've not really seen Rangnick do that. He likes to play him in the midfield. So I think that will be the team he goes with. I'd expect to get at least 9 of that 11 predicted lineup right for Rangnick. What I would do, I would take Lindelof into the team for Maguire. I would probably put Luke Shaw at left back, to be fair. I know that's controversial. I would try and put Pogba in that team in the midfield. I don't know how I would do it. You can't play Fred as a holding midfielder, and Fred has actually played reasonably well recently, so I suppose I'd have to bench Fred. I'd play Matic instead of McTominay, but I'd always do that. And the front three I don't have a massive problem with. What's the alternative to Rashford? I do like Elanga, but I'm not going to play Lingard there. I don't really have massive options. I mean, I wouldn't mind putting Bruno to the right and putting Pogba where Bruno is. But I don't see Rangnick doing that. So maybe I would do that. But I would make 2 or 3 changes, definitely. I would find a place for Pogba in the midfield. I wouldn't start Maguire, and I would play Luke Shaw at left back. But apart from that, I think the team sort of picks itself. I do expect us to win. Is the season over? Of course it is. Of course it is. That might be controversial, but this season is over. When your expectations have been crossed off, your season is over. And my expectations were top 4. Well, no, my expectations were actually a title race. What a prat. But that's what we were led to believe by Ollie. My expectations were quarterfinals of the Champions League minimum, a domestic cup, and look, a really comfortable top 4 hopeful title race. We're not comfortably top 4. We're not going to win a domestic trophy. And we've not made the Champions League quarterfinals. So really, the season is over in relation to expectations. I would agree the season is over, but you can't down your tools on it, because the season can go from being over to being an absolute disaster. And an absolute disaster is not finishing in the top 4. There is a chance we can finish in the top 4, and we have to fight for it. I don't want us to be fighting for top 4. I think it's embarrassing, really embarrassing. We should have been comfortably top 4. But the players, if the fans might have checked out, I've checked out emotionally. I'm like, you know what, they've let us down. They can't be trusted. I do feel like that. But I'm not checked out to the point where I'm like, I'm not going to watch. I don't really care. I want Champions League football. I expect Champions League football. And these players need to bloody go and deliver it. Do I think they will? I didn't think they would in January, so I don't think they are now. But they have to try and deliver it. And what they cannot do is down tools completely and knock us out of the Europa. I know people don't like the Europa, but we need Europa League football next year. We need it for financial reasons. Not to put the money in the Glazers' pocket. We need it for financial reasons because we've got sponsors. We've got players we need to buy. We need that Europa League football. I don't want Conference League football. I'd rather do a Just Giving page and we can all raise the money that you get from that. I don't want Conference League football, but we've got to get Champions League football. That has to be the aim. Until it's impossible, that has to be the aim. It's unlikely, but it has to be the aim. And then if not, we've got to finish 5th. I don't want to finish 6th. I think it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing as it is. This season's been an embarrassment. I think coming back from the international break and all the conversation around the manager and hopefully positivity if we get Ten Hag, I think with now the international break being over, and I was speaking to a Liverpool fan yesterday and they were like, oh, I hated that international break. I can't wait for it to come back. And I was like, I really don't care. And they were like, why? I thought you hated international breaks. And I'm like, yeah, but what are we coming back for as United fans? We've got no cups, got no prospect of winning anything. We need Arsenal to bottle it to get top 4. There's not a lot to look forward to in relation to this season other than, hoping for a bit of a miracle that we get top 4, which at the end of the day, we'd be celebrating 4th like it's a bloody trophy. So it's hard to get excited. And the players need to have a long, hard look at themselves because Liverpool fans, they're coming back in a title race, Champions League race, still in the FA Cup. They've won the Carabao Cup. For some clubs, this is a really exciting time. For United, I'd class it as embarrassing. And those players need to look at that. When they're swimming around for sympathy, going, they're like little puppies in the window. Oh, please, just be nice to me. Be nice. And I'm like, you've got shit all over you, though. You need a wash. Wash off all this shit, and I might be nice to you. Because ultimately, whether you're Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford, Scott McTominay, Luke Shaw, David De Gea, the lot of them have got to look at that season collectively. And yeah, some individuals don't deserve a lot of criticism, I agree. But collectively, we're Manchester United. And we've been Manchester... well, there's lots of words for what we've been, but we've not been where we need to be. And this is why I'll call Spin out on a personal level, because I don't know what we're meant to be cheering and happy and supportive about. These players have let the fan base down this season. Some of the results, the Watfords, the Leicesters, the Liverpools, the Atletico Madrids, there's loads more, have just been unacceptable for the standard of a Manchester United player. And we're meant to clap and cheer them because we feel sorry for them. They're on millions of pounds. Millions of pounds a month, some of them. Some of them are taking $1 million home a month and they're bang average. Like, I don't feel sorry for the lives they live. They're living the dream. I would love to be a Man United and England player getting booed. Wouldn't bother me at all because I'd be living the dream. And I think some of them need to ignore the noise around you. Ignore these hangers-on, your agents, your family members, the people who want you to sponsor. They're bullshitters because they're all making money off you. You're living the dream. Whether you're getting booed or not, you're living the dream and you've worked to live that dream. No one can take that away from you. If I'm Harry Maguire, right? Oh, I'm getting booed, this, that and the other. I don't know why. It's because people think you shouldn't have been picked for England because you've been rubbish for United this season. It's as simple as that. It's not a conspiracy. Whether you believe in the booing or not, they're booing you because they don't think you're very good. They don't think you should be in the England team and they think you've been rubbish for Man United this season, which I would put my hand up and say they're not wrong. But why are you getting lost in a river of negativity? Why are all England teammates tweeting about its abuse and this, that bollocks? It's Roy Keane's right. It's part of the bloody game. You might have been relegated a few times, but you're an England regular. You've played in a Euros final. You've played in a World Cup semi-final. Manchester United paid £80 million for you. You're the captain of Manchester United. You are living the dream on paper. You're the captain of Manchester United and you're an England regular. You are living the dream. Why are you moaning or worrying about people booing you? You are in control of that. They're booing you because they don't think you're very good. But you're England player and you're Man United captain. Now, if you continue down this road of feeling sorry for yourself, that's probably not going to last very long. But you're in control of it. You're in control of your performances. You need to get people around you to give you positive put you in a positive... Look, I'm available. You probably are never going to talk to him. But on a level, I'd have a private chat with you and spell it out what position you're in. Because if there's a possibility of getting you playing well for Manchester United, we all benefit. But whatever's going on around you, it's not good. You've probably got people literally kissing your arse. Oh, you're great. Ignore the hate. No. Embrace the boos, embrace the so-called hate, because it's probably coming from a position of truth, which is you've not played very well. But you're in control of that. You're playing for Man United, you're playing for England, you're living the dream. I wish I was doing it. Most people watching this show wish they were doing it. But there are standards when you're doing it. And if you've dropped below those standards, you will get called out, of course you will. But look, take control. You're in control of the criticism. Simple as that. It's a mindset, and too many of these United players lack that mindset because, and I don't know why, but you can be great at football, but you can have the wrong mindset. Otherwise, everyone would be winning the Premier League. The players that play for Liverpool, the players that play for Man City, they've obviously got the right mindset. Chelsea, they've got the right mindset and talent. United players struggle with this mindset. And I think a lot of them struggle because they surround themselves with bullshit. It's all about this brand. It's all about this clique. It's all about social media. They've got the wrong mindset, and I think that's what costs them. Anyway, I expect us to beat Leicester on Saturday, and the season's not over, although it is embarrassing. We've just got to try and fight for top four, and to do that, we've got to beat Leicester, Everton, Norwich, see where we are. Arsenal away to Palace on Monday night. You never know. And then that Arsenal game could become massive, but we've got to do our job. And I think even the problem is, even if we did do our job and win the next three, it's probably not going to be enough. But we've got to do our job. That's what we've got to do. Positive mental attitude. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Get your phone out. Get your camera on. Put it in front of that QR code over there. Scan it. Download Spitch. It's free to do. You've got to be over 18. But more importantly, it's free to play. You can win big prizes. Get your team ready for the weekend. And also compete against Goldbridge. We're giving away prizes for the person who finishes top of our United Stand community. That's got the link in the video description for that. Make sure you join in and interact. And remember, if you were the winner before the break, get in contact. Answer your email because you've got a United Stand Last Dance hoodie and a mug coming your way, and one of you lot could win it this week. And remember, if you've won it once before, you don't win it again, because we want to give a lot of winners the chance. Links are in the description. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video, and I'll speak to you all soon.